Welcome to Sci-Fi Frontier. I'm Dominic, and I'm here with my co-host,
Wally.
And we're going to be talking about the Impossible Box, and the next episode after that. What was the next episode called? It was Nemente or something? Or
Yes.
Nepenthe. I think it was Nepenthe.
Nepenthe? Is that how it was pronounced?
Yeah, I think it was Nepenthe. But first we're going to talk about the Impossible Box. And so what do you think of this episode?
It was good because it kind of started to answer a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, right off the bat, we got them all trying to get onto this board queue because that's where they discovered where Dodge is.
Yeah.
And then, in this whole thing, you're starting to see why Agnes is, kind of the skitsy. Well, I wouldn't say skitsy is wrong word.
Yeah, she's
that jittery type of a person that she is. And after just killing Bruce Maddox,
mm-hmm.
We kind of find out a little bit through the episode that she had that mind meld with that Commandant Vulcan Starfleet officer that we were talking about there. We're pretty sure it was in that episode.
Yeah.
But she kind of flashes the whole thing about why synthetics are wrong. And I don't know if she just kind of put that all on Bruce. Like that hasn't been answered yet, but
mm-hmm.
you get a really good sense of, okay, she's starting to find out that she's not really this just a cybernetics researcher that's just out for information. She seems almost like a plant for Starfleet,
she does
right?
a plant for that, or the secret organ, because I think that Commodore is actually part of that secret group.
Well, I don't know.
Well, no, she is part of it because she sent that other Romulan to the board queue.
Yeah, but she didn't know that she's a Romulan because she was walking around in a Starfleet uniform, and there's no Romulans in Starfleet.
No, so. But I think she's a part of that. I think she's in on that.
If she is, I think she's being manipulated. I don't think she's doing it of her own accord. If you know what I mean, like it's
mm-hmm.
not. It just doesn't seem right to me. That I guess there's problems in Starfleet, Starfleet Command, but that just seems like it seems too much of a cop out to be able to say that she's working with the Tal Shiar. So
for me, seems a very suspicious character.
We really haven't seen much of her yet. So
yeah,
this is another one of those characters that you're going to see developed as the show is going along, because she's obviously hunting Picard.
So now, the flashbacks, do you think the Romulans in the past created their own synths and they turned on them? Do you think that's what they're getting at?
That would make sense to me.
It would have to be, because there's no mention of anything like that before.
No, there isn't, and
unless it's something that happened way back in the Romulan past, and they just covered it up.
Well, I mean, are we talking that the Romulans that far back in the past had created synthetic beings?
Well, they're offshoots from Vulcans. Vulcans had technology for a long time.
Yeah, but Vulcans never had.
No, they never either.
They had their computers and whatnot. Romulans don't really rely on their computers as much. Like, even if you watch through the past seasons, like there's really no. Like, again, you don't really see much bridge action on a Romulan ship.
No, you don't.
But none of them are really, when you do see it, none of them are really talking to the computer, making requests or anything. Not like Starfleet officers do, right? They're very technology dependent, I guess you could say. So at least with a starship, anyways.
Yeah.
But again, all we can do is speculate at this point. It's going to be a story that's going to have to develop.
Well, it would have to be the only logical course.
And they're obviously not going to leave that as a loose thread that doesn't get tied up. But obviously, they're going to tie it up somewhere. I mean, this is the whole reason Picard is out in space, like finding Dodge on the cube there and breaking her out, reminiscing reuniting with Hugh.
And that was good to see. That was probably my favorite part of the episode.
It was, and I mean, it's not. I think it's not what everybody was expecting when you first saw Hugh in the episodes prior. He seemed like he was very cold and detached from humanity. But as soon as he saw Picard, you know, it was all smiles and how are you, my friend, and anything you need. That was great. Like it's about time to start seeing some appreciation for Jean-Luc Picard.
I know, yeah. Everyone's been like telling them off in this show. It's about time.
Know,
yeah,
and
that's starting to get annoying.
That's what's that. And you're right. It was a very good scene for Picard making a comeback. You know, like he's still on that ship with Rios and Raffi and all of them, and they just don't seem like they trust him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I almost don't trust them. But it's just I don't know. It needs something a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like I'm hoping that this is just going to be just a transitional thing. So not that Rios is a bad character or anything, but I don't know. Like he's an interesting character. Like if he is a past Starfleet officer, we're really not following his past career, so we really don't need to follow on him.
Well, the thing I find about this now that we're these many episodes deep, the only kind of weak spot I find with the show is the only character I honestly give a shit about is Picard. Like, they could kill off any of the other ones and I wouldn't care.
That's why it's called Picard.
But, you know,
the show revolves around Picard. That's the point.
I know that, but still, it's like the other characters aren't really getting developed, or they're not written in a way like really taking to them or something.
No, that's true. But here's the other side of that coin. You know who those characters are. Let's take Discovery Season 1, for example.
Yeah, I don't know who
Can you name any one of those?
Any of the bridge crew?
None of them. Not a one of them.
No.
But you know,
the only one you know is basically Burnham, Michael Burnham, and Suru.
Exactly, and that's the only that's the only ones they follow around until they get to the Enterprise.
Yeah,
and that took all season, and you never knew who the crew was, and it wasn't until season 2 before they started to actually introduce them after Pike took command of Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Poor writing. That was just awful. Like I said, I only got to 6 episodes of it, and I don't care I don't even care about those crew members.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, if you are a Discovery actor, writer, whatever, it's nothing against you. If you're a writer, it is against you. But if you're a participant on the show, it's not your fault. But it's I'm not watching it for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't go well together. Like I said, in Picard, at least you've got names. You have
you do have names.
You kind of have a little bit of a back history to some of them. You understand who they are and what they were in relation to Picard.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think
again, you're right. You don't need them.
No, you don't need them.
This is all going to come down to when he's going to meet his old bridge crew, the old Enterprise bridge crew. That's what's going to happen in this show.
Do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like and the other thing, I guess, because of the way this show's the way shows are now, it's like one long story arc over a bunch of episodes.
It is.
Where in the old, if they were doing this in the old style of Star Trek, you would have an episode that would revolve around one character at a time. Like you know, TNG always had like a Data episode, a Worf episode, Troy episode.
Absolutely.
So if they were doing it this way, they'd have like a Rios episode.
But this again, it's not. This is not what it's about. It's Picard. It's named Picard. It's going to focus around Picard. When the bridge crew comes in, that's just a bonus for everybody else because you already know who they are and you know the relationships between them. But anybody else is just
cannon fodder.
Sure, you can use that. Like Daj obviously has to be the.
Well, she's the MacGuffin of the show.
Exactly. So
everyone's chasing.
She can't be the one that dies. Like her sister died. That's as close as you're going to get. This one has to continue on because. This is essentially the new Data. One
thing that would have been a nice touch in this episode, I loved everything with Picard and Hugh, like meeting up again.
Yep.
It would have been nice if Hugh had asked about Geordi. Because Hugh was really good friends with Geordi.
Yeah, he was.
That would have been just a nice touch, just throwing it. Say, how's Geordi doing or something.
It would have been, yes. That's a very good point. This obviously is not going to be the last time we see Hugh. So
no.
I'm pretty sure that, by the time, if they recast LeVar Burton back into
Yeah, if they bring him back,
into Geordi as Geordi LaForge, and I'm hoping that he does.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too.
You know, that'd be nice to see in season 2 when we get there. But I think you're going to see. I think that's going to be a real. That's going to be almost an episode all on its own there. So just to reunite everybody. This is going to be one last ride of the crew of the Enterprise. So could this be like a last season of Picard kind of thing?
Could be.
Like, because we're going to find out where they all are. Like, you know, that's what we're hoping we're going to see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping we're going to see anyway. Because I'd rather see the interactions with the people that he knows, that we all know. You know, just and any of these other people like Raffi and everything like that. Raffi is almost depressing to watch because she just doesn't seem to have anything. She's losing her friends through Starfleet, trying to get onto that board.
Lost her career
on there. She's lost her health, her family. Doesn't want to have anything to do with her. You know, like,
yeah.
And it looks like she's been smoking and drinking her way into oblivion, but she's got this whole conspiracy theory, you know, rock solid, and nobody will listen to her. So
yeah,
how can you go to that route when you know you've got evidence? You know what I mean? Like, that's I don't know if I understand the whole Raffi character yet. But
yeah,
I'm hoping she's gonna get steered in the right direction.
Yeah,
is that the right way?
Yeah,
of describing it?
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. So now the other thing in this episode is, let's talk about Soji and her flashbacks there. What do you think is up with this planet?
Soji. You mean
Soji?
You mean? Excuse me. You mean Daj? Daj's sister, Soji?
Yeah.
Well,
that's the one that's on the cube, right? Soji is on the cube.
Daj is on the cube.
Daj is on the cube? I thought Daj was the one that was killed.
Soji's the one that was killed. Daj is the one that's
Daj is on the cube.
Daj is on the cube.
Okay.
That's that. Are you sure you're watching this? But anyway, yes. Get Daj's memories. But anyway, go on.
Okay. So, like, I'm curious about what's going to be on this planet, or what is the significance of this planet.
Well, to me, it seems like this is where she was created. So
it almost seemed like they said we're going to find the whole planet because there's more of them there. Like, is that implying there's going to be androids on this planet? Like, more androids?
Well, okay. So let's say that there is. If that's where she was created, that's where Bruce Maddox lived and developed her. If you were a Romulan, wouldn't you want to destroy all the research?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would stand to reason that that's where all of his research is. Now that he's dead, you know, wouldn't they want to find that so they can go there, make sure that no more synthetics are ever able to be created again? Yeah. So that's my thought on it. So could it be the way that that's going? Possibly, but we'll see.
So is there anything in this episode you didn't like?
I mean, it's still slow going. I mean, it is still a lot of build-up, but you're right. These aren't independent Star Trek episodes. They're not focusing on each one of these characters, you know, an episode at a time kind of thing to try and, you know.
It's like one big 10-hour long episode, basically.
Yeah, like everything. That's the way writing is nowadays.
Yeah,
like,
all the shows are like that now.
Movies are like that. Marvel Cinematic Universe, perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
They all spill into one to another. The TV episodes don't directly tie in, but they do. You know, Netflix, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all that. They all kind of blend in somehow.
Yeah.
So that's the way Star Trek is. Is now,
everything is like that.
Do this. Yes. So that's. I think this is one of the trial runs to see if they could they do a continuous story, you know, from one episode to the next, you know, like treat it as day to day, or you know, from episode to episode, or whatever the time frame is, and then just continue, you know, advancing the days, right? Because and you know, Next Generation episodes, you can just pick out any one episode.
That's what I love about.
And you don't have to watch them in any order.
You don't have to watch them in any order. You can pick out one
But with these, you kind of have to watch them from
Yeah.
start to finish.
But most shows are like that now.
Exactly.
You can't
So-
just jump in.
Exactly. So that's kind of the drag. So, but I mean, if you're watching the show, that's kind of the reason why you're watching the show, because you want to see what's going on. So.
So for me, stuff that I didn't like about this episode, there wasn't really too much in this episode that I didn't like. I can't really. I guess it was an okay episode. Not really anything.
Like, there's nothing that
Nothing
really
really
jumps
wrong,
out
yeah.
as
Not really.
anything that was detrimental or not within canon to interfere with past stories or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So no, it was a pretty good episode, and finally they made some headway in the series. They
Yeah,
finally got
I mean,
her
it's still-
off of the board cube.
Yeah, I mean it's not still doesn't feel like a traditional board cube, but it's a reclamation artifact. They said so. It's been derelict for years. They've been changing it around, so it's not going to look like a board cube. Now that would be nice if they had kept it in that.
Yeah, I kind of kept it.
The alcoves all along the walls and rows and everything like it was. But you're not getting that. So
Yeah, you're not. So right then, let's move on to the next one. Nepenthe.
Nepenthe, sure. That's
Close enough.
yeah.
So-
for the girls we go with, sure, that works.
So now, what do you think of this episode?
I really enjoyed this episode. It didn't take 3/4 of an episode to see Jean-Luc and Dodge get transported to this world, and then all of a sudden not be able to find Will and Deanna. It was almost right from the gun, and that was great. That's what everybody's been waiting for, I think, because they kept hinting at this right from the beginning. You knew Will and Deanna were going to be in it, so we wanted to see this episode. But it was really good. Like my theory did get shot down in this episode. I was really hoping he was still they were just going to be on a holodeck
and he was going to be on the
Titan, but I didn't.
It would have been a good opportunity to show the Titan in this. We haven't seen really any Federation ships at all in this series.
No, you have not seen one. Well,
you've seen some shuttlecraft, but not like a full blown.
We did see some of those transport vessels before it was destroyed on Utopia by the synthetics, but not starships. You have not seen a Federation starship yet. You have not seen a current Romulan warbird yet. Well, obviously you won't. But there must still be some Derridix class.
Oh, for sure, they gotta have someone. They gotta have some Navy.
Yeah, at least one. There's got to be at least one left somewhere, because they couldn't have all been in that system when it blew, right? So, but yes, this whole interaction was. It was just good.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's more familiar faces for Picard. That he's been basically crapped on right from the beginning of this series.
Everyone's been telling him off.
And now he's starting to get around some people that know who he is, and they want to help. They genuinely want to help Picard, right?
Yeah.
And even though he didn't want to be there. He just needed to plan his next move. He didn't want them involved. Now that he knows that they're going to be involved. There is no two ways about it.
So you think they're going to come back?
Absolutely they are. I can't see Jonathan Frakes not getting Will Riker and Deanna Troi back into.
Well, I mean, he's been a part of the series because he's directed some episodes.
Well, he has.
So he'll probably direct some more. So there's a good chance to bring him back. I mean, he's already there.
Well, he is
behind the camera.
And I think he likes this role of Will Riker. So I'm quite certain he'll want to bring them.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to see an actual.
Now it would be nice to see the Titan. Now there are little hints and everything too. Like his house is all, he's got computers set around, scattering fields for decloaking or cloaking devices, scans and whatever, blah blah blah, all of that stuff that he had. But towards the end of the episode, when he was saying to Picard, I'm still an active member. I can at a call I can get back in a cold second. So there is that hint that we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see
them come back, and we'll see them in a Starfleet uniform.
Mhm.
I can't see Jean-Luc not being in a Starfleet uniform
At some point.
Yeah, he'll have to come back to Starfleet.
Yeah, at some point.
At some point, like this is another thing with this is if Starfleet's in as much disarray as this is, and he and Raffi know what they know.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to get Starfleet back
to the way
it was, because that's exactly what he said. The reason I left is because it was no longer Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he doesn't like that idea.
Yeah.
So obviously he's going to want that fixed. Will and Deanna are obviously retired, but I can't say that they're really probably not that fond of Starfleet the way it is either. But
yeah,
they're a different generation.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Now, for me, this episode, it was kind of depressing. This episode.
Okay, well,
I mean, it was great to see Will Riker and Deanna Troi again, but at the same time, it was like, you know, you're kind of reminded, like, these actors are not going to be around forever. I don't know. I found it just, there's something about it kind of have a bit of a melancholy feel to it. And
okay, but here's another way of looking at this. You know, this is what we're going to see with the old cast. Could this be a way to usher in a new crew to follow?
Oh yeah, it could be.
You know what I mean? Like, can we see a mentorship from the way Starfleet was to what it's going to be now? Could we see Rios getting his commission back? Because he obviously left Starfleet.
Yeah.
He left Starfleet for different reasons. His captain get his brain blown across the bulkheads. But
yeah,
he does seem to have that Starfleet drive.
Yeah,
That's that Picard, even, you know, when he first met him, even you're Starfleet through and through, because of just the way his ship is, right? So clean, organized, maintained, everything, right? So
now there's a couple things, we talked about this before we started recording. There's a few things that I thought were canon violations or something they looked over. Deanna Troi could not sense the girl's emotions. When in TNG, she was able to sense Data's emotions and Laura's emotions when they had the emotion chips.
Yes, that's true. Now, you're also talking about... I'm grasping at straws, but I'm gonna say this anyway. But Laura and Data are previous generation technologies.
Yeah.
Daj and her sister are far more advanced. They're far more human. They think they're human. They have skin tones. They have feelings.
Basically like
they're a different generation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but wouldn't that make them more indistinguishable from a human? So wouldn't you have to sense the emotions easier? Because that was the whole point. You're supposed to not be able to tell her from a human.
Well, maybe, you know, she kind of got activated. So maybe that's the reason why that she can't, because she knows now that she's an android. So she's, you know, if she hadn't been activated and she was still thinking she was human, maybe that was maybe then she could have been sensed, because you know, if she was around betazoids, they would, if they sensed her, they wouldn't sense a hole in a crowd, and be able to single her out, so that way she could stay hidden. But now that she knows she's activated and she's an android, you know, she doesn't need to be sensed now. So, but I mean, yeah, she clearly still does appear to have feelings and whatnot. But I mean, you know, who knows what the programming is? Yeah, Bruce Maddox is dead. Are we ever going to find that out now? No, but this is another one. We talked about this in our last show. We don't know what Bruce Maddox knows. No, we don't know. And now we'll never know. No, we'll never know. But I'm just going to leave this one up until I'm proven otherwise. I don't really quite trust the writers of this show yet. I'm just going to leave this up to I can't lazy writing, or not doing the research, or not doing their homework on Star Trek. Well, I'm not going to say lazy writing or anything yet, because we don't know what's going to happen. There's no episodes ahead of this one yet, so you don't know. If we get 4 episodes in or 4 seasons in and we don't get these questions answered, yeah, okay, I'll defer to your problem with canon and lazy writing. I think that's going to be the case, but you got more faith than I do. Don't jump yet. Like I think you're slowly getting questions answered from the beginning of this series. Slowly.
So the other thing is when they say Picard has no experience with kids, but in that episode, The Inner Light, he lived like a whole life where he had kids.
The Next
and
Generation.
grandkids.
Yes,
Generation.
I know the one. That's the one where he taught himself to play his flute and everything like that.
So he has some experience. It's not totally green.
Yeah, okay. And my argument of that whole thing is that it wasn't his life.
No, but he would still have the experience.
He seemed...
Because he was able to play the flute and he had all the memories. He even said in that episode, I lived a whole life on this.
He did say that, but...
So he would have those experiences.
It's
so he
just,
still has the experience.
I think... It's like... What's another good analogy that you could use? Like...
Well, like, so say he has, like, extra... So how old is he in this show? 80 years old?
Say he's
Continuity-wise?
Say he is.
So how... He probably lived to, what, 90 in that episode? So tack on another 50 years on to whatever he is. And that's how much emotional experience he has. So he actually has an extra 50 years
he has
life experience over everyone else in the show.
I think him saying that he's lived this life is just the experiences of somebody's life that was lived.
But you'd still be able to draw on
that's just put into his mind. So it seems like he's lived a life.
Well, I'm just going by what he says. That's what he says. He says, I lived a whole life. That's what he said.
I know, but that's,
so it's like something they could have referred back to in this episode and made him actually somewhat good being able to handle this girl. Because he has experience with kids.
Yeah, no, I see where you're going with that. And he does have experience with kids when the Captain Picard Day. So that was
Captain Picard
five kids that young kids that he...
And he had to put up Wesley Crusher all the time, so it's not totally like he doesn't have any.
Yeah, he doesn't have. He has experience with kids around him. He doesn't have experience with raising kids.
No, except he did raise them in the Inner Light. He lived a whole life where he raised kids.
That's somebody else's.
That still counts as life experience.
He has the memories of somebody else's raising.
But he lived the whole life. That's what he says.
I know you keep saying that,
but I'm just going by what the episode says. I'm just taking on face value.
Well, okay, so
he has that experience.
So let's say you get out of a car accident. You were knocked unconscious for a while, and then you wake up in a hospital bed, and then the police are around your bed and going, "Can you tell us what happened?" And the first thing you said is, "Yeah, I ran my car into the wall, but you didn't actually. You actually got rear-ended and pushed into the wall." But that's what you said. Is that your argument? You know what I mean? Like, this is...
but that's not the same thing.
No, it was the same thing.
Because he lived the whole life.
Yeah, well, no, because he just happened to wake up off the floor of the bridge, and then he said that. So he was pretty, disoriented, I'm going to say. Like, he hadn't been sitting around for, 4 or 5 hours, but checked out in sick bay and going to rest in his quarters.
But he referred back to that experience in another TNG episode where he told him, I lived the whole life.
Yeah, he did.
So he has the memories, he has all the experience, and he had a family, a wife, kids. All that happened to him in that other life. So he lived it.
Okay,
there's no way.
So obviously, he obviously has an issue with not having the Picard line carry on now that his brother and his son are dead.
That issue too.
There's no Picard. So wouldn't that have made if he had that experience that he knows after my brother and his son died, there's no one to carry on my lineage? Wouldn't that be a kind of a priority for him to get married and have a offspring?
Yeah, but he's never really wanted that.
No,
he's never really wanted that. He's always wanted to be a captain.
Okay, and he was. So that wasn't the issue.
But that doesn't change the fact where
he also was worried about the Picard line going on. And there was an episode in there that did that too.
Yeah.
The movie, I guess.
The movie did that, yeah.
So, but that's if you're gonna say this what he said, well then that's a thing that you have to.
Yeah, but that could still be a regret. So, but he still experienced that having kids.
Well, that's
through the Inner Light.
I'm gonna
that episode.
I know where you're going with it. I'm not sold on that explanation, but.
But that's what happened in the episode.
I know that's
exactly what happened. He lived like a whole episode, and it referred to I lived a whole life. He didn't just dream it, like he's remembering dreams. So he's got that experience.
Yeah,
he has that lifetime experience. Even though it's of another life, he still has all that experience. So he has that life experience to draw on. So the other thing in this episode that Oh yeah. Now this is another question. Now when she was activated, this android.
Okay.
Why didn't she instinctively trust Picard like her sister did? This is something my girlfriend pointed out when we were watching it. She doesn't trust Picard at all, and she didn't trust any of them.
Well, they're not carbon copies of each other.
Why wasn't
they're physically?
If she's part of Data, if Data's a part of her, well, why was the first one? Why did the first one trust Picard and not the second one?
Well,
wouldn't that be something that's programmed into them to help them survive? They'd go seek out Picard.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, look at the two of them in the surroundings that they were in. Soji was just getting out of Starfleet Academy.
Mm-hmm.
She was on Earth, and she's had lots of Picard stories, obviously, to going through classes and whatnot. I'm sure she learned about Picard. So
yeah,
obviously that's one way. Now you look at Daj, who's basically living on a board cube,
mm-hmm.
and that's all she seems to know. She's just constantly around Romulans. And Romulans, I don't know if they really talk about past experiences with the Federation or anything like that, but obviously she didn't talk to Hugh about it, because I think there's just two different environments. But yes, I understand, the programming should be go and seek out Picard, but she didn't have to seek out Picard. Picard found her first. No. She just happened to just appear in front of him.
My question is, how come she didn't trust Picard? Like, because the first girl said, "There's everything inside me says I should trust you," but she couldn't understand why. But then we find out there's some data in her, and there's some data in her sister.
So that's
the thing. Like,
so the other side of the coin is
how come
when Soji found Picard,
yeah,
and she had all those. She wasn't being chased right at that exact moment. Daj was in a board cube with Tal Shiar right behind her, firing weapons at her. She kind of had to make a quick choice fast, right? So
mm-hmm.
she didn't really have to dwell on it. She, at that point, wasn't... Would we say she's 100% activated? Yes, she punched through the floor, but is she aware that she was punching through the floor? Like, she still doesn't seem, when she met Riker and Troy,
mm-hmm.
that she doesn't really feel like she's an android. So I don't know if she's completely 100% activated yet. Like, yes, okay, it all starts with the closing of the eyes, and blah blah blah, and she did that.
Yeah,
but did she activate? Just because
it seems like they said she was acting because she was in punch to the floor.
I know, but again,
so she had android strength.
She did. So, but again, does she realize that? I don't know if she realizes that, because she just keeps getting told she's an android. She's told she's an android. She's told, and she just seems like, and she's even said to Riker and Troy's daughter there, up until a few days ago, I just felt human.
Mm-hmm.
So she obviously still remembers being human. So maybe that imprint is still a little bit more prominent. Maybe. So speculation again.
Now, there's something happened in this episode that kind of ties into a theory that that I read online, and that was that she did the Data head twitch.
Yes, we saw that right in the beginning.
There's a theory that she's actually going to turn into Data. She's going to have all the Data's, like all Data's personality memories are going to come alive in her. Could this be like that? Well, that's what I thought when I saw that head twitch. Is this where they're going? Could that theory have been correct? And then she's basically gonna become the new Data.
Well, I think she's already Data. I don't think she's going to be... She can't become Data. She's just got all the information of Data to whatever point Bruce Maddox had to implement her with.
Mm-hmm.
So, is she going to go pale-skinned and turn...
Well, no, but I mean, when she have Data's mind, basically.
That would mean that Daj just isn't Daj anymore.
No, she's Data then.
She's Data, so...
or some kind of like a combo of both.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of a combo. Like, I think you will see the Data in her. Like, you do see the head twitch and everything. That was way more prominent in this episode than it was the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could see it. I don't think it's... I don't think she's going to be the predominant Data that's being associated with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe.
So,
So what? As for things I liked in this episode,
The interactions.
the interaction.
It's
It was just nice just to see them hang out.
Yeah, I know. Like
Right there.
everybody's hated Picard, and now we're starting to see some love
Someone,
for Jean-Luc. It's about time.
Yeah.
Even if it is, his old friends and colleagues and whatever, it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time. So stop giving Picard crap.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a great man. He did a lot of great things for Starfleet. He should be given a lot more
Respect. for what
Yeah,
he's been-
respect. Respect is a good. Like even Rios. Rios knows who he is. Like he should be.
So now there's a theory that I want to shoot across your bow. That there's a Reddit leak about this show. So could be a spoiler. So
Okay.
do you want to hear it? Yes or no?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
because
And it involves Rios.
theories are never
Rios? No, because he has all those holograms that look
Yep.
like himself.
Yep.
Rios himself is a hologram.
No,
Don't think that's gonna wash.
no,
Rio.
I don't think that's gonna wash.
But that would make more. But that kind of makes sense why all the holograms would look like him, because he's actually the emergency command hologram, and there was a malfunction he could never shut off.
So that means the whole ship is being controlled by
Holograms.
Sorry, can't.
Not buying that one. That's
No,
a
I don't.
Reddit leak. I
Don't
came
see that
across
one.
today.
No, because he beamed off the ship.
Did he beam off the ship?
Yes, sir, he did. When they went to Free Cloud.
That's true.
He got all dressed up and he beamed off the ship. Now, I guarantee you that none of them have mobile emitters like the Doctor.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I'm going to shoot that one right down.
That does shoot that one down. Okay, now here's another theory. This is from Trek Yards.
Okay.
This is a Trek Yards theory.
Okay, this one might be
That-
tougher to shoot down. So
The synths that the Romulans created in the past, those synths were assimilated by the Borg, and those synths became the first Borg queens.
I'm going to say no on that one. Just because Enterprise encountered Borg.
But they didn't encounter a queen, just Borg. And they were Borgs
Well-
from the future.
Are you sure about that? I don't remember them saying that was Borg.
Now
from
we're
the
talking
future.
about Enterprise.
Yes, that Enterprise episode, season.
Not
I think it was
Next Gen,
season-
but Enterprise.
No, Enterprise.
But those were the
Johnny
Borg from the
Cap-
future from First Contact. Those were wreckage from that sphere that the Enterprise destroyed and crashed in Antarctica, and then was discovered later on. So that was actually that was some of the leftover Borg from First Contact that they come across, and they get reactivated again. And they start to assimilate.
Did they actually say that? It's been a long time since
Yeah.
I watched that episode.
Yeah, that's Borgs from the future. Those were the Borgs from that sphere that Enterprise blew up.
but in First Contact, when they went back,
Mhm.
they were building that interplexing beacon.
Yeah.
They were trying to contact the Borg living in that century.
Yeah.
Or that time period.
Mhm.
So that would also that would be before anybody would have found the wreckage of the Borg sphere in Antarctica. That was way before, because that was pre-warp flight.
Yeah.
So
But
so I'm going to say that there was already Borg there, and I'm going to assume I'm not. I am going to assume that there is a queen already, because Borg kind of need to have something to direct them. So,
but they always advance by picking up new technology. So this could have been a new technology they picked up.
okay. So
they were developing synths
okay,
on,
so-
say, like a Romulan outpost somewhere, and Borg came along and assimilated everything.
Okay, so
And they had a
Borg.
really advanced synth that they
So Borg.
utilized and turned it
So
into a queen.
Borg 001, very first Borg drone ever created. If it had no queen, if there was no queen for that drone to instruct, all it would just do is just go out and assimilate, just to assimilate.
Well, they're
That doesn't
supposed
make
to
any
like.
sense
Well,
to me,
see,
so-
originally the Borg didn't have a queen. They didn't get a queen until First Contact. That was like when
you
they
never,
wrote in
s-
queen.
you never
didn't
saw,
see one.
you didn't see it.
But originally, the original intent is
was.
they don't have they're all one mind. Like there's no separate. It's just one living entity.
Mhm.
Like, so
Yep.
they don't need because it's just like one entity directing itself. You're thinking of them as individual drones. They're all just one link, one line. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
but
the original
that's
concept
like,
of the Borg.
well, it's like
and the reason why they
there's
put
one mind controlling all of your fingers and your toes and your arms and your knees and your shins and your ankles. That's kind of what the Borg Queen represents with all drones. These are all just her her arms and limbs to be able to reach out.
No, what I'm
and
saying
do-
is you
know
could
what I
still
mean?
have the Borg function the same way without a queen. They would just all they're just all one entity. You know, they're all living.
Yeah,
they're not one. One is no more different. Like one Borg drone is not any more of an individual than like what your arm or your leg is. They're all one thing.
I don't think that's a good. I don't think that's a. No, I'm gonna shoot that one down too. I'm gonna say there's already. I'm gonna say there's already.
You think there's already was a
there's
Borg
already
queen?
a queen.
So now, do you think this is gonna this past with the synths and the Romulans? Do you think this is gonna tie into the Borg? It seems like that's the direction you're heading because they have the Borg in this.
Well, could that be the reason that they're worried about destroying all of the synthetics, is to make sure that the Borg don't have a way to get us a less evolved android that's got the same powers and strength and whatnot, but not the computing capacity that Data had to be able to assimilate the Alpha Quadrant. Like it's I'm gonna say that's probably more likely.
So yeah, but still like this last episode. It's nice to see some of the original cast back together.
Yeah, I do enjoy that. I was really hoping we'd see Brent Spiner come back. Like that's still one of my hopes, is you actually see Brent Spiner come back. I want to see.
Well, there's that opening because Lore could still show up in this.
And B4 is also in a drawer.
He's in a drawer. But where is Lore? He's got to be somewhere.
Somewhere,
They didn't destroy him. It was just deactivated and dismantled.
That's right. So
he wasn't vaporized or anything.
No. So where is he? So
So it'll be.
I think there's. I would like to say there's a way. There's going to be a way to bring Data back somehow. But I don't know if they're going to go that route or not. But even if they could bring him back for just a little bit, just to say properly goodbye. Like, he didn't get it. All he got to say was goodbye to Picard, and that was after he beamed him away. So
yeah. Well, I don't know.
There's still lots and lots of directions in this show.
There's lots.
But
so, well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. So we could have got these 2 episodes. So that's everything we got to say in this video. Let us know what you think in the comments section, and we will see you at the next one. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification when new videos are uploaded.